Well, looks like I got two dislikes on on two videos on my channel. Okay, the first video was it was a universal healthcare response to Jordan Kellington from Jordan Kellington to give him my thoughts on universal healthcare, and he disliked it, and he sent a comment which I didn't bother reading. Um, he's just a ignorant conservative goofball that I'm not gonna waste my time going back and forth with him on. Um, I'm just not into I'm just not into Republicans and Democrats. I'm not into that political nonsense, really. I tried it. It was just depressing, and it was just a waste of time. And when I talk about something to someone, I just get completely ignored or talked over. And yeah, and also I want to thank Doc G of Damn This Place '07, who I subscribe to. Hey man, thank you for liking my video. I'm not my video. Thank you for liking the comment I left on your uh, that I left on your video on your YouTube channel titled "Real Men Are Dying Off." Thank you, and hey, and I'm gonna say this again. Hey, don't let people get to you. All right, just stay strong and just talk about what you believe in. All right, and yeah, and you're right. You're right about you know, you don't want special treatment. You just want to be treated just like everybody else. And I agree with that. You know, but hey, I'm gonna sub to your channel. I'm gonna stay as you. I'm gonna stay on as one of your subscribers. Okay. Well, I got that out of the way. I'm gonna read a post from, let's see, Michael Signer, and he posted this back on November the 13th, 2013, and it's titled, "America is the loneliest country in the world. It is because we've abandoned the traditional family structure." Okay, I'm gonna read this. Yeah, I need to read this because America is the loneliest country in the world. I mean, you're isolated in a bubble. You can't talk to anybody. You just go to work, go shopping, go home, and just sit at home, wasting your time watching TV and listen, and just have your eyeballs glued to your mobile device and television. Yeah, I mean, you can't talk to anybody regardless if they're family or not. So yeah. So yeah. I'm gonna read this. Okay, it says here, for all the nations in the entire planet, the United States is the most loneliest place to be. We have the highest percentage of one-person households in on the entire globe, and the average size of our households have been steadily decreasing. Studies have shown that the number of close friends that Americans have is falling, and we have the highest divorce rate in the world by a wide margin. So why is this happening? Does this have anything to do with the fact that America is abandoning the traditional family structure? Back in the 1960s, the sexual revolution fundamentally fundamentally changed the way that millions of Americans view sex and love. By throwing out all of the old boundaries, many Americans believe that they would ultimately be able to have more sex and more love. Today, this this manifests itself in a hookup culture that is constantly being promoted as healthy in our popular music, in our television shows, in our movies. But instead of this hookup culture resulting in more sex and more love, most Americans are discovering that it leads to just the opposite. We have become a nation of depressingly lonely people that have very few real ties to others. Never in the history of our nation have Americans been so isolated from one another. Most people get up in the morning, drive to work or school, perhaps do a little shopping afterwards, and then drive home again. The rest of the evening is typically spent in front of the television or on some sort of electronic device. In addition, most Americans spend precious little time attending social gatherings of any sort these days. Church attendance is at historic lows, and most people don't take the time or the effort to get involved in other types of social groups. And even when Americans do go out and try to meet people, the relationships that are formed are very much on the surface at best. The truth is that most Americans have very few close friends. Just take a moment and consider how many people outside your immediate family actually love you and would be there for you no matter what. For most Americans, that number is depressingly low. In a desperate attempt for human love and interaction, an increasing number of Americans have turned to social networking websites such as Facebook to fill that void. For the depressingly lonely, some human contact is better than none. In fact, a growing number of people are so depressed for people to talk with them that they will pretend to be someone else online. Many will even use an attractive picture of someone else in an attempt to try to lure others. This has become so common that this phenomenon has even been given a name. It is known as catfishing, and it has grown to epidemic levels. Other Americans deal with their loneliness by recklessly indulging in food, drugs, gambling, shopping, or other addictions. We have a fundamentally unhappy nation, and this is reflected in the fact that we lead the world in antidepressant use. In fact, a total number of Americans taking antidepressants doubled between 1996 and 2005. Could a lot of this have been avoided if we would have just fully embraced the traditional family structure as a nation? Wouldn't most of us be doing a lot better if we lived in homes that were filled with happy, healthy families? Just consider what the consequences of free love and the hookup culture have been for Americans. At 26%, America has the highest percentage of one person households on the entire planet. 100 years ago, 4.52 were living in the average U.S. household, but now the average U.S. household only consists of 2.59 people. Back in 1950, 78% of all households in the United States contain a marriage couple. Today, that number has declined to 48%. The marriage rate in the United States has fallen to an all-time low. Right now, it is sitting at a yearly rate of 6.8 marriages per 1,000 people. Today, an all-time low, 44.2% of Americans in the 25 to 34-year-old age bracket are married. According to the Pew Research Center, only 51% of all Americans that are at least 18 years old are currently married. Back in 1960, 72% of all U.S. adults were married. In the United States today, more than half of all couples moved in together before they got married. The divorce rate for couples that live together first is significantly higher than for those that do not. America has the highest divorce rate on the globe by a wide margin. In 1970, the average woman had her first child when she was 21.4 years old. Now the average woman has her first child when she is 25.6 years old. The birth rate for American women in the 20 to 24-year-old age bracket has fallen to 85.3 births per 1,000 women. That is a new all-time record low. Approximately 1 out of every 3 children in the United States live in a home without a father. For women under the age of 30 living in the United States today, more than half of all babies are being born out of wedlock. For most Americans, marriage has come to be viewed as a temporary agreement that can be abandoned the moment that it no longer makes them happy any longer. This me-centered approach to love and marriage has had a whole host of negative consequences for us as a nation. Over the last 4 decades, many Americans have moved away from identifying with an illusional model of marriage which seek to integrate sex, parenthood, economic cooperation, and emotional intensity in a premeditated union. Premeditated union. This model has been overwritten by the soulmate model, which sees marriage as primarily a coupled-centered vehicle for personal growth, emotional intensity, and shared consumption that depends for its survival on the happiness of both spouses. Thus, where marriage used to serve as a gateway to responsible adulthood, It has come to be increasingly seen as a capstone of sort that signals couples have arrived, but financially and emotionally on the cusp of arriving. uh yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah, that's just a tip of the iceberg of why this country is just a gigantic sinking ship. You know, this is going to get worse. It's just going to get worse, and Winston Wu point this out. Winston Wu says this like, and he said this like, why stay on a sinking ship? Why stay on a sinking Titanic, which is America? Why stay on this? And you just get off the sinking ship. Why just get off the sinking ship? Meaning that just go overseas and just be happy. You know, And he said that a lot of Americans, um, well, not well. He said like a lot of people in this country thinks that going over going overseas is not an option, and it is. And yeah, and he said like staying in America and fighting a losing battle, try to make the country better. It just isn't worth it. I'm probably gonna get a big thumbs down on this video, but I don't care. I really don't care, because you know, um, why stay here? Like, and Dog G of Damn This Place '07. Let me start over again. Dog G of Damn This Place '07 um, said this on his video when he did his video recap of Brazil, and he said this. What he said, why is it men in America put up with this bullshit in the States? Like, why they gotta stay here and put up with this crap from these messed up in the head women? It's just so ass backwards. And he talked about women in Brazil are more feminine, they're down to earth, and they're sweet, and they're not fat and out of shape and angry and messed up in the head and ignore men all the time. He said the women in Brazil are sweet, and he said Brazil as a country is the most laid back country in the world. I never been to Brazil, but you know what? I'll think about. I'll probably consider like taking a trip there. I'll probably go there. The way he described it, and he went to Brazil because of, I think, because of his friend who committed suicide because this woman that he was married to, the woman that he was married to, who he got divorced to, they got divorced from, like, kept him from seeing his daughter, and it made him depressed and made him want to kill himself. Yeah, I was going down that road. I felt depressed because like, my a boss at a job told me that there's certain things that I'm good at, there's certain things I'm not good at, and this is this job I want to get out of. My boss will let me out of this job, and my boss thought I was, stupid. I wasn't that smart. Basically, it was a job that I didn't like. Well, it was a job. It was a maintenance job where I was a janitor and I just cleaned up, and in that job, well, I gotta do maintenance. I never did maintenance, and I didn't know how to do maintenance. All I did just come in, just clean up the place, just clean up this store, this place that I used to work at, and just leave. And I look back on that, I feel that I wasn't qualified for that job. I feel that the only way I'm gonna be qualified for that job is that I gotta know how to do maintenance. I gotta fix things. I gotta replace bulbs on lighting. I gotta do that stuff. But replacing bulbs on lighting, that's something I don't know how to do. And you know, I didn't. I mean, nobody didn't teach me that, and I didn't know how to do that. So yeah, that job that I had was a joke, and I'm glad I don't work there anymore. And you know, and, and Dog G pointed at the U.S. is a matrix. Just a stiff, stone face, isolated, lonely, backward country. You just can't just go up and just talk to someone out of the blue. Like everybody's afraid of you. Everybody think you're gonna do something to them, do something to you. They think you're gonna do something to them. Yeah, yeah. Like everybody's in a group. I noticed this. When I graduated from high school, I was officially in a bubble. I went to college. I was officially in a bubble. I mean, I couldn't talk to people that I did like when I was in high school and junior high and elementary. So once you get that diploma, and once you walk across that stage and throw the hat that's part of your cap and gown attire, you're officially in a bubble, just like that. Yeah, you just been run all over and treated like shit in this country by by shitty people. But Doc G made this good line. He said this in his recap to Brazil video. Don't catch feelings, catch a flight. Meaning that just save some money, buy a plane ticket, and go overseas and be happy. But there's some countries overseas that are kind of like America. The countries in the Scandinavian region. I went to one of them, Norway, and I just felt how it was in Norway. I was in Oslo. Yeah, so I'm gonna stay away from the Nordic Scandinavian countries when I go overseas again, like to Europe. I'll probably like go to Spain, France, you know. But I'm gonna stay away from any country that is like America. And yeah, in the country north of America, a lot of Americans completely ignore Canada. Yeah, even though they're warm, friendly, and polite, but you got some jerks there as well, and they got the isolated, antisocial mentality there as well. So, so Canada just as worse as the U.S. You know, it's just as bad. It's just as bad up there as it is here. Um. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah. Just wanna read this post and give my thoughts. Anyway. Anyway. If you want to subscribe to my channel, go right ahead. If you want to leave a comment, go right ahead. You can like or dislike the video. I don't care if you like my video, like my videos, or dislike them. I really don't care. I'll read your comments. I will. But yeah, there's one good thing about America is freedom of speech. That and other countries don't have that. Um, anyway, anyway, I'm anyway, anyway. I'm going to end this video by saying this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.